Drake's losses just keep piling up. From his underwhelming album sales to the growing success of Kendrick Lamar, things aren't looking great for the OVO rapper. But instead of focusing on the music, Drake is doubling down on his lawsuit and has now officially added Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance to his case. On top of that, he's abruptly cancelled his remaining tour dates in Australia and New Zealand, leaving fans with more questions than answers. What is really going on? Let's break it all down. We recently did a video on Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group and how in the world of hip-hop it's a strange move to make. Needless to say, fans and critics alike voiced their opinions. He's been claiming that there's been a conspiracy to sabotage his career, pointing fingers at label executives, streaming platforms, and even fellow artists, namely Kendrick. But now, he's taken things even further by incorporating Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show into his case. You know, the one where he looked straight in the camera to millions of viewers and said, "Say Drake, I hear you like 'em young." Oh yeah, and the same performance that had the whole crowd chanting along to. According to Drake's legal team, Kendrick's performance, particularly his rendition of Not Like Us, was a strategic and successful attack meant to damage Drake's career beyond repair. They argue that Universal played a key role in allowing Kendrick to use that stage to continue his assault on Drake, framing it as part of a larger industry agenda against him. Drake is now attempting to paint himself as the victim of a coordinated effort to dethrone him. But let's be real, he never had a problem with beef when he was winning against Meek Mill. What do you think? Is this different because of the things that Kendrick is alleging, the, PDF stuff? Or is it all fair in love and rap beef? The argument is that Universal greenlit Kendrick's Super Bowl performance knowing that it would amplify Not Like Us even further, giving it an unprecedented platform in front of over 130 million viewers right after winning 5 Grammys. Drake's team is spinning this as proof that his label was working against him, essentially handing Kendrick the biggest stage in the world to drag his name through the mud. Do you think he has a case based on how severe the fallout has been for the former #1 artist in the world? If that wasn't enough, Drake also made headlines by suddenly cancelling the remaining dates of his Anita Max WinTour in Australia and New Zealand. The official reasoning, a quote-unquote scheduling conflict. But most people aren't buying it. Reports from insiders suggest that behind the scenes, there were major logistical issues with the tour. Delays, mismanagement, and even chaos at his last show in Brisbane. One alleged concert worker described the situation as disastrous, claiming that Drake arrived late, pushed sound checks back by hours, and forced concertgoers to wait outside in extreme heat and mosquito-infested conditions. Additionally, there were rumours that ticket sales weren't as strong as expected, leading some to speculate that the cancellations were more about avoiding empty arenas than any real scheduling conflict. This wouldn't be the first time an artist used a vague excuse to quietly pull the plug on a tour that wasn't performing well, and with everything else going on with Drake's reputation, it wouldn't be too hard to believe. And then there's the fact that, instead of addressing fans or rescheduling immediately, Drake was seen partying at a Brisbane nightclub until 4 a.m. after his final show before hopping on his private jet to Fiji. Not exactly the behaviour of someone who's devastated about a tour cancellation or had somewhere else he was supposed to be. This lawsuit and the tour cancellations are just the latest in a string of desperate moves from Drake. The rap industry is shifting, and while Kendrick Lamar is riding a wave of cultural dominance, Drake seems to be struggling to maintain his footing. His lawsuit paints him as a victim, but in reality it looks more like an artist who can't accept that his influence is fading. With his tour cancellations raising eyebrows and his legal battle getting more bizarre by the day, Drake's legacy is in a precarious place. Instead of reclaiming his throne through music, he's leaning into lawsuits, conspiracy theories, and damage control. The question is, will fans buy into this narrative, or is this the beginning of a real fall-off? I will say it's not all bad news for the Six God. Though it was earlier reported that it didn't look like his collab album with Party Next Door was being embraced as lovingly as his previous projects, it ended up debuting at #1 the Billboard 200 with all 21 songs from the project, debuting on the Hot 100, including 2 solo-billed Drake tracks in the top 10, Gimme a Hug at #6 and Nokia at #10. This puts him alongside Jay-Z and Taylor Swift for the most #1s among solo artists. Looks like you can't count the boy out just yet.